Capital News tonight. Central Bank to implement measures to cushion adverse effects of COVID-19 on the economy. Kenya increases Tanzania-Kenya border entry regulations. And in sports, Tanzania Baseball Softball Association finalizes seminar to ensure youth team qualifies for the 2020 Olympics. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. First, the national news. The Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Tanzania, which met on 8th of May 2020, has approved various policy measures to cushion the economy from adverse effects of COVID-19 after a thorough assessment of the impact on various sectors. The governor of the Bank of Tanzania, Professor Florence Luoga, says the aim of the measures is to safeguard the financial sector's stability. Among measures taken include mobile money operators to increase daily transaction limit to customers from 3 million to 5 million shillings, as well as allow financial institutions to consider loan restructuring for borrowers facing financial difficulties.
Benki Kuu ya Tanzania kama mshauri wa serikali.
Let me start by thanking God for life, especially during this difficult period the country and world is going through in the fight against corona. The Bank of Tanzania, as a government advisor in finance policies and everything to do with the economy, has continued to work with the government in ensuring that the country's economic development is looked into closely, as the COVID-19 virus has had many effects to the economy, citizens, various business and development activities.
The government of Kenya has increased regulations as its borders by preventing vehicles and Tanzanians from entering into the country as part of precautionary measures against coronavirus transmission and causing various economic activities to halt at Horohoro area on the border of Kenya and Tanzania.
Lakini kwa sababu sasa ule utaratibu ambao umeongezwa kwa upande wa wenzetu wa Kenya.
Because of further guidelines from Kenya, we have no option but to obey. However, borders have not been closed. There is more regulations which have been imposed, so everyone engaged in this business should obey.
8 tons of perch worth more than 60 million shillings for the first time have been flown by Rwandair from Tanzania to Amsterdam in the Netherlands. The consignment of fish was flown from MWANZA International Airport, which was officially launched with a flight witnessed by the Minister of Works, Transport and Communication Engineer Isaac Kamwelwe.
Kuanzia leo Mwanza imekuwa ni international airport. Tumeanza kurusha ndege moja kwa moja kutoka Mwanza kwenda Ulaya. Leo ndege itatua Amsterdam.
Mwanzo kabla ya kupitia hapa Mwanza.
Previously, before the MWANZA route became operational, they used to transport cargo via Mwanza, Kagera and Musoma to Nairobi and Entebbe. So this has reduced the cost. We are urging the government to look for other companies to come to MWANZA. At the moment, we've started with Rwanda Air, but with more taking part, it means that they will be able to transport goods to other parts of the world.
The government has admitted that many parts of the country are facing sugar scarcity, but that various measures are being taken to address the problem. The assurance was given in Parliament in Dodoma by the Minister of Agriculture, Japhet Hassunga, when tabling his ministry's budget for the 2020-2021 financial year.
We don't expect to have sugar shortage in the country because there is enough sugar in stock. Monthly sugar demand is 35,000 tons. This is why when the government permitted for 40,000 tons into the country, we were certain that it was going to be enough, as we were expecting internal factories to start production end of this month.
Nurses from Muhimbili National Hospital have joined others around the world in celebrating International Nurses Day when they pledged to continue through actions to follow the oath and ethics of their jobs during this coronavirus pandemic as well as after it.
So as to ensure patients get the best service, we've made sure that service providers receive protective gear to ensure they do not get sick. And this has been a major help not only to Muhimbili Hospital but the entire country.
Lakini pia kwa Tanzania nzima COVID-19 tumeshindwa kuyafanya kwa vitendo na kuonyesha kazi na matunda yetu, lakini
because of COVID-19 we've been unable to show practically our work, but we believe the community recognizes the job we do and we are thankful that they thank and appreciate us.
Vitu ambavyo tunavionyesha kwa vitendo
na kama wao wauguzi tunabidi tuwapongeze sana.
I commend them. Continue to pray for them, and it is our responsibility as Tanzanians to continue to pray for all nurses who are currently facing difficult work environment because of this pandemic.
The government in SONGWE region says that it is looking into ways to allow fuel lorries stranded at Tunduma border to cross into Zambia after the government of Zambia closed its border at Nakonde due to the coronavirus pandemic. The stranded drivers have said that COVID-19 testing is being implemented so that they can cross the border.
Kwa sasa hivi kweli mizigo hiyo haiendi, lakini kwa sababu 70%.
So far there are no movements of goods, but 70% of consignments that are passing through the Dar es Salaam port are going to the southern areas, meaning countries like Zambia and the rest. Something that gives me hope that the measure might not last long for these activities to resume. At our border, we had more than 1,000 trucks that were to cross the border, and on their side as well, hundreds of trucks were in long queues. When we reached the border, we registered ourselves and we were to be tested for corona. But before that exercise, we were assigned to the immigration department, where they told us that we should go back until the next day, where we will be given special escort. Preliminary information says that fuel trucks are the ones that are allowed to cross the border. That is why we are here to complete all procedures in order for us to cross the border tomorrow. Despite warnings provided by the Ministry of Health to the public on preventing coronavirus infections, some people in Dar es Salaam city have been seen not taking the warning seriously.
People are taking it lightly because when the virus was first reported, we would get information every day on its development, how many patients were infected, and how many people have died. But now it is all quiet, so people think the virus is ending. Some people think those who wear masks are know-it-alls, or that you are such a rule follower. But this is not how it should be. This is a major disease. It kills and needs to be taken seriously. It has most especially also affected employment.
Moving on, minerals miners in Makere Division, Kasulu District, Kigoma region have complained of their mining areas which are located within Makere Forest Reserve being invaded by citizens of Burundi, affecting their mining activities. Speaking to the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Minerals, Professor Simon Sanjila, they said that they also experienced problems in getting permits from the Forestry Agency.
It has led to a situation where we have mining license, yet people from Burundi have invaded our land and are now farming. According to the law of 2010, modified in 2017, Section 95, clearly states that when one has obtained a license, then there must be a written consent. You have a lime mining license in an area inside the reserve, and now reserve officers will not allow you to mine until they are certain that there will be no damage caused to the environment.
The government has distributed 16 boat engines to districts on the shores of Indian Ocean, lakes and large rivers so as to protect water resources and fight against illegal fishing.
Lakini hata hivyo katika huu mwaka wa fedha walau tumejitahidi mpaka sasa hivi vyama vya ushirika jumla ya shilingi milioni 833 wameweza kukopeshwa.
In this financial year we've tried our best in that cooperative unions. A total of 835 million has been loaned to members. This has never happened. We are working hard within the government to provide fishermen with modern fish equipment and that they get trained. In Kiela we have 4 rivers and Lake Nyasa, yet there is very little output. This is because of old techniques and equipment. What we've received from the government will motivate us to do better. It is my hope that this is just the beginning. Today we've received 2 in my constituency where more than 50% of its people are fishermen. We're hopeful that we will be receiving more in the future.
And that is the end of national news. International news follows next. And in international news, more than 300 nationals from the Democratic Republic of Congo have decided to return and continue with activities they had been doing while living in Rwanda. The Congolese nationals returned to DRC, crossing the border of Korinche between the town of Gisenyi in western Rwanda and Goma in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. I was stuck in Rwanda. Honestly, I'm glad that I'm going home, although we shall come back. We have agreed to go back to DRC, but we shall come back because we have families here. 15 people have tested positive for coronavirus in Kenya within the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 715. Health Cabinet Administrative Secretary Rashid Aman said the 15 tested positive out of the 978 samples and that 14 of the cases were Kenyan, while 1 is a Rwandese national.
We've tested 978 samples, out of which 15 have tested positive for coronavirus. Of these 15, 14 are Kenyans and 1 is a Rwandese national. In terms of age, the range, the youngest one is 1 year and 8 months old, while the oldest is 62 years. 10 are males and 5 are females. 2 other individuals from Tanzania at the Isabania border also tested positive and were referred back to Tanzania.
At the end of the day, unless we work together, we are not going to be able to solve this problem because our borders are porous, our people are one, and therefore we must have a common position if we are to actually defeat this virus.
And that is the end of international news. Business news follows next after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Back and in business news tonight. More than 100 shops at New Key Market have been closed by the marketing department from Kinondoni Municipal after traders failed to pay rent. The traders have opposed the decision, saying that it is not fair as they constructed the shops at their own cost.
They said to close down, and if not, to go and pay for the 3 years we have not paid to the municipal. But how to pay when there's still a conflict that has not been resolved and business has become hard? Initially, we were paying 26,000, but when the price went up suddenly to 42,000 shillings, that is when we were failing to pay it. I was told to direct them to CRDB when they come in relation to make it payments. I do not accept any payments here.
Karagwe District Cooperative Union KDCU expects to collect more than 45,000 tons of coffee from farmers in the new buying season, and that it will ensure that farmers get good prices which will benefit them.
We have already received directives from Deputy Minister Bashe that we must take further steps to prepare a fund which will be preventing this. So we have started, and we will cut off part of the levies in principal unions and put them in a special fund so as to start loan funds in principal unions. We ask farmers to continue to harvest the coffee that is ready and to dry it well. We will ensure we use as much as possible so as to ensure farmers get a satisfactory price in the market.
Gold miners who have been affected by use of mercury in Geita region will no longer be forced to use the harmful substance in their activities after some investors constructed a gold refinery plant in SONGWE district which will add value to the minerals.
The main aim of this factory is to help small-scale miners who have been using mercury frequently in mining for gold, and they only get 30 to 40%. So this factory will help their health and also help them get more gold. It will process their stock by percentage agreement and not cash charged. The company is also prepared to help small-scale miners with equipment such as pumps, generators, winch, compressor, jackhammer, so that they can speed up production.
And that is the end of business news. Sports news follows shortly.
Away
first time. Good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time. Good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters.
Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lynn.
Welcome back, and in sports news. Tanzania Baseball and Softball Association has finalized its seminar aimed at ensuring the youth team qualifies for the 2020 Olympics. The association believes Tanzania will be a force to be reckoned within African baseball competition.
Tanzania ina nafasi 100% sawa sawa na nchi nyingine kwa sababu
Tanzania has the opportunity 100%, same as other countries, because it is the first time for baseball 5, which involves 5 players each side, to come in at the same time. No country had this sport. So for now, we are all participating in the same level. We are sure with the preparation we are taking, and as you heard, Mr. President thinks of resuming sports. When resumed, we will not start from zero.
Ruvu Shooting Information Officer Masao Bwire says if the league returns, it should continue to be played at home and away grounds instead of suggesting neutral grounds.
Jumla vikao viwanja vitano.
I see huge effects in using 3 grounds. First, it is costful for some teams will have to travel from other regions to come to Dar es Salaam. They will need hotels as well as food, contrary to their schedule at home. Also, in between the hotels and the ground, it is another cost.
Sebastian Vettel will leave Ferrari at the end of the year after contract negotiations between the 4-time world champion and the team broke down. Here's the story.
The 32-year-old's deal concludes at the end of 2020, and despite both Ferrari and Vettel previously expressing their ambition to extend it, Vettel bluntly stated there was now no longer a common desire to work together. Vettel won the World Championship 4 times with Red Bull between 2010 and 2013. He joined Ferrari in 2015, with both parties optimistic he would return their first driver's title since 2007. However, neither driver nor teammate have proved able to match the dominance of Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton, failing to really challenge for the title.
Joan Laporta will attempt to bring Pep Guardiola back to Barcelona if his push to return as president of the club in 2021 is successful. Here are more details.
Laporta was Barcelona's president from 2003 to 2010 and was at the helm when Guardiola was promoted to manager of the senior team in 2008. Guardiola is under contract at Manchester City until June 2021, and Barcelona's elections are due that summer. Guardiola has said he will not walk out before then, despite UEFA handing City a 2-year ban from European competition for breaching financial fair play rules, a ruling the club have appealed against. Barcelona won 14 trophies, including 3 league titles and the Champions League twice during Guardiola's reign before he left in 2012.
And more than 10 members of Wolves' backroom staff were swabbed for COVID-19 on Monday as the Premier League began its testing procedure in advance of a potential resumption of matches. Here are more details.
The nose and mouth swabs were performed by Premier League appointed medics at a drive-through station in the club's training ground in Compton, with the specimens delivered to a laboratory in London for analysis. The results will be sent to Wolves' Dr. Matt Perry, who served as a medical advisor to the Premier League for 4 years before Wolves' promotion in 2018. The plan is to test players later this week and at irregular intervals thereafter. Wolves players returned to Compton on Monday for the first time since the league was suspended in March.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin for tonight. My name is Khadija Zimbwe. Thank you for watching and good night.